Hi guys, it's Shipbase here, and this is my tour of P&O's flagship, P&O Iona. Starting at the top on deck 19, they had the sports arena. This was at the back of the ship and it was a full-size basketball court, and they had two small goals. You could go and get equipment throughout the day at certain times. They also had two golf nets where you could practice your swing while on a cruise. Also on deck 19, they had two sun terraces, where they had one at the front of the ship and one midship. They would be great places to catch the sun or get amazing views of the fjords. Which also surprised me is that they both had lifts to them. You don't normally see that on many ships going to the sun terrace, especially the ones right at the top. Moving down to deck 18, right at the front they have the retreat. The retreat is a pay-for experience on board P&O Iona, and it looks like they have lots of sunbeds in there and two private hot tubs. I did not have access to this area on this cruise. I just put my camera through to film it. Just before the retreat, they have the Beachcomber pool and bar, which has a really nice bar and would be amazing on a hot day. They have some really unusual seating around the pool, which could be like a really nice social area. And again, they have loads of seating on this ship, and especially around this pool they had lots of sunbeds and more seating just if you wanted a drink. As we carry on to the back of the ship, around the Sky Dome they have two hot tubs and a lot more seats and sunbeds to go around. We will get onto the Sky Dome later on in the video. They also have a running track on deck 18. Next to the running track, they have the splash zone, which is for the kids to splash around in, and it looks really fun in there. I got really soaked filming this. At the back of deck 18, they had the panorama pool and bar, which had a really cool bar to have views of the back of the ship, and it had the one of two infinity pools. You got really amazing views from these swimming pools. As you can see, it goes right up to the edge. And there is lots of sunbeds around this pool and bar as well, which is really good to see. On deck 17 at the front of the ship, they had on the starboard side this hallway to get you to the Epicurean, the Aurorian suite and the crow's nest. You come to the first Epicurean. It was not actually open on this cruise due to staffing issues, so I could not get inside to film. Then you had the Aurorian suite. I never saw this open. I don't actually know what it's used for. They also had a set of stairs to deck 18 here as well. Then right at the front of the ship they had the crow's nest bar and lounge, which was a really elegant bar which had lots of seating, and it had a piano in there that they would have playing in the evening. It also gave amazing views of the front of the ship, especially in the fjords, and this was a really nice bar to relax in. Also on deck 17 they had the reef. This was located between 16 and 17 in the midway of the stairs. I did not get in to film it on this cruise. At the back of deck 17 they had a little sun deck with two hot tubs that gave amazing views, a few sunbeds and this waterfall from the first infinity pool. Going down to deck 16 you will have the Sky Dome midship, and the Sky Dome was absolutely amazing. It spans over two decks, 16 and 17, and to have it in the fjords with the views was really amazing. The seats were there, really comfy. There was a few bars, a restaurant in there, and it was a really amazing place just to relax and chill after your long hikes in the Norwegian fjords. On the upper level of the Sky Dome they had like these sofas that you could sit on to watch the show. They also had seating behind, which had tables which you could also just sit and watch the show. And up there they had the Sky Bar. On the lower level they had the pool, and they also had two hot tubs inside the Sky Dome. They also had 2 bars on the lower level, Laguna Bar, and they also had the Crystal Bar. Both served drinks throughout the day. The restaurant inside the Sky Dome was Taste 360. They would do burgers, pizzas and hot dogs, and it would basically just be a quick food place. The pizza was really good here. They also had sundaes, so you could get a quick ice cream by the pool. In the Sky Dome is also the entrance to the Horizon restaurant, which is the buffet on board P&O Iona. There was lots of variety. This was when it was set up for breakfast. There was lots of options and it was really nice food. They also have a drink session with juices. They also have the wine and the cola dispensers, not that I saw them working on board my sailing. You do get really amazing views from the buffet with floor to ceiling windows, and you can get some really nice seats. Also in the evening they shut part of the Horizon restaurants and changed it into the Beach Club and the Chef's Table, which are 2 specialty restaurants on board, and they are available to book through the app. They also have some seating outside if the weather is good enough. If you keep walking to the back of the Horizon restaurant, you will find Grab and Go. This was not open during my sailing, so I have no idea what food they do. At the back of Deck 16 they had the Infinity Pool and Bar, which they had an amazing bar. They had a hot tub with these kind of splash jets around it, which was quite interesting, and then they had this infinity pool, which gives you amazing views off the edge of the ship, and just look at those stunning views of the fjords. So this was a really amazing area to relax because they had lots of sunbeds, which is really good for a ship this size, and it gave you amazing views so you could see both sides of the fjords. Now we're going to go all the way down to deck 8, so we're going to get in the lift. Yes, I know the numbers are wrong. If you look, I filmed it the wrong way around, but we're going to carry on with it anyway. So on deck 8 we're going to look at the outside deck first, and that's the Promenade deck that wraps around the whole ship. From front to back, starboard to port side, it goes right around the whole ship. It has sun loungers, chairs. It had a really nice area at the front of the ship where you could view up to the bridge. It also had hanging over the side where the atrium was, where it went around the glass. And I made some amazing photos that I've got. And yeah, I really enjoyed the Promenade deck going all the way around the ship. And it also had 6 infinity hot tubs, 3 each side. And we watched one of the sailorways from the hot tub, and it was really enjoyable. Being right up close to the edge of the ship, seeing the ropes drop, watching us pull away. It was a really cool experience, and I would recommend to watch a sailorway from one of those hot tubs. At the back of the Promenade deck, they had the Sunset Bar, which was a really enjoyable bar to sit at with 2 hot tubs, and it also had lots of seating, and it gave you a really amazing area to watch the wake of the ship. And it was a really good place to get a photo. As you come inside on deck 8 midship, you will be met by the top of the atrium. The atrium spans 3 decks, and the top level is the Killer and Cowl, which is a speciality restaurant on board. They do amazing duck buns and a really delicious steak, which I had on board. As you start walking to the back of deck 8, you will find the Promenade shop, which sells Lego, chocolate and sweets. Basically my dream shop. Then you would find Ripples. This is the ice cream parlour on board, and they also did an ice cream afternoon tea if you would like to do that. Also on deck 8 is Sindhu, the onboard Indian specialty restaurant. This restaurant was only open for dinner, so 6 o'clock onwards, and you could book it directly on the app. Also on deck 8 they had the Keys, which was the food court on board, which had very delicious food. They had hook, line and vinegar, the fish and chips. The batter on the fish was absolutely delicious, would recommend 100%. They had Fusion, the Asian kitchen, and they had a very delicious katsu curry, which I had for a few lunches. It was very nice. And then they had a little dessert corner around the area, so you can have your desserts after your mains. And then they had the boardwalk diner that did some burgers and delicious fried chicken. Delicious. They also had the drinks tower there, but again I didn't see it on during this sailing. There's lots of seating, but during lunchtime this was a very popular place and it does get a bit manic at points. Then they have the Olive Grove, which was a complimentary / specialty restaurant. Basically the menu, you had 3 options and then you had options where you had to pay an extra charge. Like I had the paella, so I had to pay an extra £4.50 for that. But it was absolutely delicious food and the pizza in there is exceptional. So I would 100% recommend trying out the Olive Grove when you're on board, but make sure you book because it gets booked up very, very quickly, especially on sea days. At the back of Deck 8 they had the clubhouse, which was a huge venue on board, loads of seating, and it was really comfortable in there. If the quays ever got too busy, people would spill into here and eat in here. There loads of stuff went on in here. Bingo. Marco P.O. White would do his cooking demonstrations in here, Q&As as well, which was really cool. Then there would be like the magician comedy act would be in here as well. This was a very well used venue and I really enjoyed sitting in here. Moving down to Deck 7 we have the Headliners Theatre. This theatre looks really nice and comfortable with all these red seats. I really like the look of it. It had a comedian playing during our cruise and a vocalist. I didn't actually go and see a show myself, but I heard it was good. As you come out of the theatre in Deck 7, you'll find Brody's, which is the sports bar / English style pub on board. This is where you'll find all your sports like football when Premier League football is on. And it was very busy every evening. They had a pool table, which was always in use when I saw it. And yeah, it was very popular with everybody on board. Next to Brody's was the casino. The casino was very busy most evenings. They had lots of slot machines. They had 3 table games. One was roulette, blackjack, and 3 card prime. They also sold used casino cards at the cashier desk, which was quite interesting, and I picked myself up a pack. As you come out of Brody's and the casino, you'll find the Glass House, which was a very popular venue, and it's the whole 2nd level of the atrium. So you get lots of nice views out the windows of the fjords and the sunsets. We had an amazing sunset, and the sun didn't set till like 1 in the morning, and that was really nice in Norway. And then there's the cellar door at the Glass House, which is like a little separate bar, more little like exclusive area, which is quite interesting. As you're leaving the Glass House, there's like 2 lanes, both have shops and lots of different experiences on there. So we're going to start with the port side, and that's going to get you to reception. So if you have any questions, that is where you need to go, and they will answer them for you. Then they have the photo hub, which will get you all your photos of what they are professionally taken on board during like formal night and whatnot. And they have some good photo opportunities. And then if you carry on down, they had shops like Pandora, the duty free shop, and my favourite, the P&O themed shop, where I got my ship model. Then they had loyalty and cruise sales. That means you could book your cruise while on board P&O Iona. And then next door to that, they had short excursions, so you could book your short excursions for the ports you were visiting. And then the starboard side of the lane was just shops like perfume, makeup shops. There was Superdry, like a clothing shop, watch shop, a cheaper watch shop, as there is those expensive ones. And there was even a Norway one, so if you forgot your souvenirs, you could buy them on board. At the back of Deck 7 is Coral, one of 4 main restaurants on board Iona. It is a freedom dining, so they have 4 restaurants where you can pick, so you have different views when you eat. This restaurant was huge, and it gave really amazing views from the back of the ship. Now if we go down to Deck 6, we will find Scene, which is the teens club on board Iona. I didn't get access to this during this cruise, but it looked like they had a pool table and they had PS4s, which looked quite interesting. Then they had the Oasis Spa. This is where you could get your hair done for formal night, nails. There was a little barbers in there as well. They also had a really cool thermal suite, but I couldn't get to film it this cruise, where they had steam rooms, salt rooms, a big hot tub with seats in there, and it was really amazing. They also had an art gallery on deck 6, so you could buy some really expensive art. And they also did an art auction. After the art gallery, you will find the Limelight Club. This venue was mainly used for the drag queen show. It will be a £35 per person to go and watch, and it was dinner and a show. I did not do it on this cruise, so I have no idea what the show or the food was like. As you come out of the Limelight Club, you'll find the bottom level of the atrium. This atrium was absolutely stunning, and there was never a problem to get a seat because there were so many, which was really good to see, as sometimes you can get a problem with seating in the main area of ships. Also, the floor-to-ceiling windows were absolutely amazing to watch sunsets, the Norwegian fjords, and it gave you a real perspective of what was outside. On the lower level of the atrium, they have Vista, which was the cafe bar on board. This would always have a queue in the morning to get people their coffees, and it's a really nice area to go and sit in the morning to watch the sunrise. In the lower atrium, the bar was the Emerald Bar, and it was absolutely huge. It had loads of seats, and the service was really good in the evening. They also had a small shop called the Harbour Shop, and it would sell books and essential items, and it was really helpful. Also in the atrium, they had the entrance to the 710 Club. Now this was always locked, so I couldn't actually get in to film it, but when it was open, it got so busy so quickly, they would put a sign out the door saying that they're full, so whatever's in there should be absolutely amazing. Just off the atrium, they had Anderson's Bar and Library. This was quite a big bar, and they had lots of space. They had lots of variety of books you could choose from, really comfortable seating, and they also had lots of games you could just pick up and play and just return them, so it was a really nice bar to just chill in. Just across the hall from Anderson's, they had the Ocean Studios, which was the cinema on board. It looked amazing. On the left they had vending machines with all the snacks with ice cream, snacks and drinks, so you enjoy them during your film. And on the right they have the screens of what they're playing. They had 4 studios, and they would play like 3 movies a day. They had recent movies like Batman, Fantastic Beasts, Secrets of Dumbledore, and Sonic the Hedgehog 2. So it's really good that they were having a variety each day of different movies. As you come down the hallway, you'll find the 4 studios. They looked very comfy with really big seats, and they were quite small cinemas, but they had enough screenings during the day for them not to be too busy. Then you had the Aqua Restaurant, which was open for breakfast and dinner, and it was one of the 4 main dining rooms. It could give you amazing views of the side of the ship. Next at Aqua, you had the Opal Restaurant, which again was another main dining room that you had to book. This restaurant was only open for dinner. It was a really nice restaurant, and this is where I ate on my cruise. Right at the back of deck 6 they had Pearl Restaurant, which was the last main dining room on this cruise, and it was absolutely massive. It gave you really amazing views of the back of the ship, and it had this really nice stairway up to the Coral Restaurant. Now if we go down to deck 5, there's only one thing on this level, and it's a gym and health club. This was located at the front of the ship, but they had lots of treadmills, weights, bicycles, you name it, it was probably there. I'm not the biggest person about gyms, I have no idea what half the stuff is. They also had an area that you could do classes as well, so there was a lot of facilities. And that is everything. That is my tour of P&O Cruises flagship P&O Iona. I hope you really enjoyed this tour. If you liked what you see, please press the like button and subscribe to our channel. It's very much appreciated, and it really does help me out. Thank you for watching. It's been Ship Pace here, and I will see you guys in the next video.